Hey, triple fivers. Yep, you're right. I picked up a Tudor Ranger off of eBay. Cheapest I could find it. Looks like we have a series here. And yes, if you're here just to find out how much I paid and to move on, kindly leave me a thumbs up and hit subscribe, and I'll tell you it's $1,200. $1,220 to be exact, to include the shipping cost. And it was reported to be a complete package, reported to be keeping good time, and reported to not have any major damage. So we'll do an unboxing, see how bad it was when I unboxed it, and then I will tell you about my motivations for picking up the watch, and we'll throw in some glamour shots at the end too. All right, stay tuned. All right, guys, let's get into this, the unboxing of the Tudor Heritage Ranger. Quick wristwatch check here. Sorry, my sleeve's all messed up. I'm wearing the Hamilton Khaki Mechanical with the H50 movement on a Hodinkee single pass shell Cordovan strap. Nice, comfortable combo, showing off how thin this watch is. So, I love it when there's this messed up, disparate packing. At least it looks like they got the core part of the watch box decently. Nothing at the bottom. No price tags this time, thank goodness. Nice to have the outer box. Yeah, and here we go. Here's the Tudor box. It's a little bit smaller than the Hamilton. Ooh, this is the part I was excited about. Just a like piano glossy finish box. It's so cool. Very nice. Very clean. Tudor does a nice job with these boxes. A little dusty, but that's no surprise whatsoever. Tudor Heritage Ranger. A little bit of a class there. Alright, there we go. There's the watch. I got it with an aftermarket leather strap and two NATOs. And let's just see. It's supposed to come with all the tags and stuff, so hopefully it did. Warranty card here. So that's good. Bought in 2015 in Israel. Flew overseas. The Ranger booklet. Take a look at that later. Price tag here. Oh, okay. And here's the watch. Taking a look at the condition here. Looks pretty much as described. Some minor scratches around the lugs there. I wasn't afraid to get one that had a little bit of wear and tear in it already, just because I know that it was going to kill me to have to do that myself at some point. Not thrilled about some of the snotting on the inside of the lugs there. I guess there's probably a bracelet on there or something, and at one point that's what happened. Not very clean on account of that, but within the realm of acceptability, I think, especially for what I paid for it. Let's get the threaded crown. Okay, it's unwinding smoothly, so that's good. And here we go, winding it up. Winding feels great. A little bit more resistance, I would say, than the H55 movement. Let's just look at them side by side real quick. So again, the deal is, I just have admitted that I like collecting field watches, and if I'm going to keep all of these, it's just going to be admitting that they're all sort of within a subgenre that I particularly enjoy. And actually, I mean, side by side, these watches couldn't look more different. Let's put it on. Get that crown threaded. Size was always the thing that scared me off about the Ranger, especially the thought of buying it new and then knowing that with the size of the watch being what it is, that I would get taken to the cleaner if I bought it new and wanted to sell it used. So being able to buy it used is much more in line with what I wanted. So there it is on the wrist. Short lugs, big dial. Feels a little heavier and a little bit thicker than the Hamilton, of course, but actually not that much bigger in terms of the footprint that it's leaving, so that's good. So an initial unboxing of the cheapest Tudor Ranger on eBay does not appear to be catastrophic.
Daddy? Dad, a free phone on the docking. It doesn't the docking phone.
Alright guys, we finally got a Tudor in the collection. Why don't I show you some of the damage real quick. As you can see, whoever had this watch previously didn't really know how to change a watch strap very well, and unfortunately it definitely shows on the lugs. That's the worst damage I could find. Here's a closer shot of the Tudor Ranger in a little bit different light. Gives you a little bit better real world perspective about that lug damage that you just saw. Thankfully the crystal's nice and clean here. Love that raised crystal. Definitely something that's a fingerprint magnet. Did you notice that the sticker's still on the back? That's pretty cool. Not bad, actually. Definitely loving this matte dial. Painted indices. That is called a pear hand, according to Tudor. It's kind of a spear, the hour hand, and then the sword, minute hand. But all very Tudor design language, which to me is extremely appealing. Not incredibly thick, actually. I think it's about 12 millimeters thick. Got a lug-to-lug of about 47 millimeters. Yeah, there you go. Alright, so we got a chance to unbox it, and so far the worst part seems to be the snotted up lugs, which is definitely unfortunate from a collector's standpoint, especially since the kind of damage that the lugs are exhibiting are pretty much noob damage. That is to say that anytime I'll show this watch to a collector, which is pretty much never, because I'm doing this solo, I will have to explain that this was a watch I got used and that I'm not a moron who doesn't know how to change a watch strap. But mostly I'll just have to tell myself I'm not a moron all the time for buying a $1,200 Tudor. But seriously though, the prices of Tudors have just dropped on some models, and the Ranger, especially amongst the modern heritage line, seems to be the best example, although the Black Bay bronzes are going for really cheap now as well. And even the Black Bays full size with the black bezels are just not what they were commanding a year ago. And so it's actually a great time to buy the not cool Tudor right now. Now the Ranger, of course, is a legendary model from the Tudor line. And the big criticism of the watch is that it's too big, talking 41 millimeters, all dial. The lug-to-lug really is pretty manageable actually because of the short lugs. I think it's about 47 millimeters lug-to-lug. It's only actually a millimeter larger than the 38 millimeter Hamilton Khaki Field that I also recently unboxed. And the reason why I got it is because, like I said in that unboxing video, I'm doing a bit of a reckoning right now. I have to make some decisions about where my collection is going to go. Do I want to collect a bunch of field watches, and in that collection this watch would fit in fabulously? Or do I only want maybe one or two of this favorite subgenre of watches of mine and just have a couple different pieces? If I go for the larger collection, then it's really nice to find an excellent, affordable example of the Ranger, just because it is a watch that you're paying well over $2,000 for new, and the objection that it's overpriced seems to be pretty sustained at this point, unless you're really wanting something pristine. Certainly the secondary market seems to be demonstrating that it's a little overpriced MSRP wise. Now, of course, this is all very temporary. I imagine that if Tudor comes out with the new Tudor caliber version of the Ranger, that there will be some guys who are clamoring over the very simple smiley face Tudor Ranger rose dial with the curved self-winding text. I don't know, but I know for a fact that having looked at this watch now for 4 years, it came out in 2014, that I still really like this model. It still really resonates with me. I think it has one of the best dials in the industry amongst modern watches. And the fact that it's big is actually something that I like because it means I can enjoy it more readily. You know, it's less of this squinting and woo. So there's a lot of things I like about this watch. Am I convinced that this particular example is going to stay in the collection, even though I got a great deal on it? I'm not sure. I have to decide. The thing is that one of the big appeals of a Tudor watch is the finishing is so on point, and that's really true. The finishing on Tudors really is something special, and so for me, I notice the flaws. I have been wearing the watch on my wrist since last Thursday, and the flaws haven't gone away exactly. But neither has the cheapness of the amount that I paid for it. So the idea of being able to maybe live with this watch knowing that I got a good deal, I'm considering it. In the end, if this watch is going to be one of the core watches in my collection to be regularly worn, I definitely don't intend to keep it just as a display piece or something. I intend to wear it a lot. It's nice to actually have a piece that has a little bit of wear and tear on it, even if it's not the kind of wear and tear that I would personally probably subject my watches to. And it was cheap. It's $1,220. That's really quite a deal for a Tudor Ranger. I don't expect the prices to go much lower than that, even for a watch in the condition and with the materials that I got for it. And if I decide that I don't like the watch, I'm pretty sure I should be able to recover that price pretty easily, maybe even make a little money on it, especially knowing how unpredictably the Tudor secondary is right now for modern heritage pieces. Certainly, I'm enjoying this watch a lot. It's a real change of pace going from the very discreetly sized 38mm Hamilton Khaki Field, which I also recently unboxed. And so I have some wrestling to do in my head about where I'm going with this. As it stands now, this watch is an amazing weekend watch. It's tolerable as an office watch. It definitely can be worn under a cuff if it's so necessary, thanks to the short lug-to-lug. It's pretty big for my taste, but it's not so oversized that I feel that it's unwearable, and it certainly wears close to the wrist too. That's another nice thing about this watch, is it's pretty thin, and so that's one thing that I like, despite the case being oversized overall. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Was I an idiot for buying another El Cheapo watch? You're probably wondering about timekeeping. So am I. So far, timekeeping has been just fine. It's been a little slow, but not much slower than what I would expect from a watch that is been on somebody's wrist, worn pretty hard for 4 years. And we'll see if it stays within my fairly moderate expectations. I'm not a timekeeping snob. I don't care a lot about super accuracy. As long as it's within tolerable measures, then we'll be fine. Not excited to have another ETA 2824 movement in my collection. That's definitely a negative, but it is reliable and it is cheap to work on. So if there's a problem, then I think I should be able to get it serviced pretty easily, under $100 in my experience getting this movement serviced, and that's nice. Of course, it is the Tudor movement too, so if I decide to keep the watch and move to a full review, you can expect that I'll probably pull the case back off, maybe ask my watchmaker to do that, and you can get a good look at the inside movement of the Tudor Ranger, which is finished to Tudor's unique standards, and there are some modifications to the movement. So that is, again, another nice touch. This is totally a nice touch watch as far as my perspective on it goes. This is a watch where all the details make the sum of the watch's parts. It's much more than just a simple three-handed field watch. This is the Tudor Ranger, and this is Tudor's attempt at the field watch. There's a lot to admire going on, a lot of beautiful things, and that's why I went ahead and made the purchase. It was in my price range. It's a fabulous model, and it is something that I'm willing to try out. All right, let me know in the comments below if you think that this was a good idea. Give me a thumbs up if you made it this far. Let me know maybe what watch should be the next watch that I try to find the cheapest on eBay. This could be a fun series as long as I don't buy a bunch of junkers. This watch seems to be one that maybe I dodged a bullet. All right, thanks a lot for watching. If you're new to the channel here, I'd really appreciate you subscribing. And thanks a lot again for watching, guys.